James Cameron has settled the long debate on whether or not Jack could indeed fit on the door with Rose. I'm of course talking about that scene in Titanic where Jack has to die. Spoiler alert, come on, you knew that already. If there's someone in the comments that's like, what is spoiler?
Spoiled Titanic for me.
Anyway, so you may remember that Kate Winslet says indeed she thought, yes, Jack could have fit on the door, and then the MythBusters guys also agreed with that, and they actually did a whole segment on whether Jack could fit on the door with Rose, and they said that yes, he could if they had attached the flotation, his life jacket or her life jacket underneath the door. That way it would have been buoyant enough to have,
even without that, I think
accommodate their weight. Well, because it would have sunk otherwise. Anyway.
No, it wouldn't have. And you know who else agreed with that? Not MythBusters, not Kate or whoever, not James Cameron. 14-year-old Hasan who watched it, and a gentle tear rolled down his cheek as he said, how could you be so selfish? How could you not let Leo onto that door?
Did you
there
say
was
that,
enough space on there.
Did you say that in English or in Turkish?
I said it in Turkish.
Because that's adorable. Say it in Turkish.
Neden izin vermedin Leo'nun oraya çıkmasına? Neden? Neden?
Somehow it sounds more threatening. It sounds more like, why would you not let him on the door? In any case, James Cameron was interviewed by the Daily Beast on Doorgate, and he says the following, quote, okay, so let's play that out. You're Jack. You're in water that's 28 degrees. Your brain is starting to get hypothermia. MythBusters asks you now to take off your life vest, take hers off, swim underneath this thing, attach it in some way that it won't just wash out 2 minutes later, which means you're underwater tying this thing on in 28-degree water that's going to take you 5 to 10 minutes. So by the time you come back up, you're already dead. So he doesn't think that the whole tying the life vest underneath and fitting on the door, he thinks it's all just sort of a crock of shit. He actually says, quote, they're full of shit. So he doesn't think there's much water
I think James Cameron's
to
full
this
of
story.
Shit. Oh man, that was a really good joke. I'm sorry to cut that in there. Shit.
That's fine. But this brings up sort of...
You want to do that again? You want to cut
No,
and do
no,
that
no.
again?
Now
I think there's water to that story.
It's too late, and you also already stole the show by speaking in Turkish, so I know that everyone in the comments section is already talking about how adorable that was, so there's no joke I can say here that would get myself to your level.
Okay, seriously, hold on. First of all, it's not a competition. You're an amazing person.
What? It's not?
What I was going to say about this is that I think James Cameron is full of shit.
What?
I think that, first of all, there's just no way. It's a big ass door. Like, I don't really care what kind of investigation that the MythBusters conducted, finding the possible, like...
It's the buoyancy that matters.
Yeah, the buoyancy and also how wide it was, which affects it kind of technically, and then it's like becoming, the door is becoming waterlogged by every moment. But like, the fact that Jack didn't even make an attempt to get onto that.
Well, I mean
he
there
did
was like at the moment he
understood.
And then,
Is he a mechanical engineer, or was he just like, you know what? The water viscosity is at this, and the water temperature is 28 degrees. I'm gonna calculate right now with my peasant brain that unless I tie these life vests underneath the door, I'm not going to be able to save myself. No, you're trying to save yourself at that moment. There's no like, I'm just gonna let go. I'm going to let go, and I'll never let go. And then, you know, he dies. That's bullshit. He should have made multiple attempts. He should have maybe even been like, hey, like, this is a big door. Can you can you just like move sideways? And then maybe they could have died together, and that would have been a better story.
Okay, you know, I actually would have totally agreed with you had I not read James Cameron's explanation and how he sort of debunked the MythBusters, saying that you know, how cold the water was and how he's already suffering from hypothermia. So I will go with James Cameron on this, but I think you make some valid points. My question is, are there any other plot holes in movies that sort of still haunt you that you want resolved? And I will kick this off because this is something we've talked about. Spoiler alert, I'm going to say something about La La Land,
What are you doing? You're just spoiling everything.
If you haven't seen La La Land yet, I know, just spoiling your favorite movies.
Right now.
Turn it off. Oscar potentially winning movies left and right.
Like 14
In La La Land, they don't end up together, okay? So here's the deal. They have social media. Like, why didn't they just, and Griffin's laughing at me from the sound booth, but here's the thing. Why didn't they call each other? Why didn't someone, it's only been 5 years before she's married with another kid, like, or with a kid, or who knows another kid. We only saw one kid, maybe she has another, who knows. In any case, that's not the point. The point is that she could have kept in touch with him, and that's a plot hole that I wish that they would have addressed. They have snail mail, postcards. I mean, MySpace, if you're feeling crazy. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
There were multiple instances.
Find me on LinkedIn.
There were multiple instances throughout the entire movie where I was like, why aren't they calling one another? Like, remember? When they couldn't get together for the date.
The dinner thing?
Yeah, the dinner thing. And it made me realize, like, oh, we're supposed to lose sight of reality. We're supposed to believe in the reality that the movie is trying to put together for us. And in that world, apparently, phones don't really exist unless it's convenient for the director.
Fair enough.
So yeah, there were other points where I was like, why aren't they connecting with one another?
Okay,
like, why aren't they just like hitting one another up? Like, where's your phone number? Like, how has Ryan Gosling not sent a dick pic to... How has he not done that yet? Like, that's like a third date thing.
Terrible. Do you have any movies that have some gaping plot holes you want to address?
Think of any. I can only think of one, but it hasn't been released yet. And that is the last movie I watched. It's called A Cure for Wellness.
I really want to see it.
It's
but
amazing.
I have no idea what happens in it.
No, it's amazing. It's a thriller. It's dope. You guys should definitely go watch it when it comes out. But like, there is a plot hole in it. And I even asked the director what it was, and he was just like, we're gonna let you guess that. Like, he pulled a Soprano move. But I mean, there you go, plot hole. Massive, not plot hole, but like massive question that they leave you with is the ending, the finale of The Sopranos.
Oh yeah, that's a big question mark.
That's a big question mark. They just leave you with that. And do you like that? Do you think that it just adds to the fan fiction around it, like the fanfare around it, where like whatever meaning we assign to that ending is how we feel about it?
Yes, I would rather them leave us with a question like Sopranos than have sort of these theories like with the Titanic and fitting on the door that people could lose their minds over. So with Sopranos, it's sort of an open-ended question, whereas Titanic gave us a definite answer, and a lot of people said, no, we don't like that answer. And I think I would rather the question, sort of like at the end of Gilmore Girls, another spoiler alert, where she says, Mom, yeah, I'm pregnant.
Maybe we should title this like, Grace fucking ruins every show you've ever intended to watch. Maybe we should just title it appropriately, Grace. How do you feel about that?
I think maybe. On that note, guys, we're going to leave it up to you in the comment section below. Do you think that James Cameron is right? Do you think that Kate Winslet is right? Do you think that MythBusters is right? What are some movies, or Hasan Piker, what are some movies or some TV shows that have some major plot holes that keep you awake at night? We want to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We'll see you next time on Pop Culture.